So my microphone's in the wrong place. Welcome to another learning live stream with me, Christian Schiller. Took a bit of a break last week, but I am back. Just check a few levels and things. Everything seems pretty good, maybe a little quiet. Ba-da-bum-bum. Any regular watchers will know I usually have some audio absorption panels behind me. I've taken them down with the intention of putting them there to reduce some of the shrillness, but I haven't actually got around to putting them up yet. So there might be a little bit of extra harshness on things today. Sorry about that. So I am Christian Schiller. As I said, every Monday I look at some kind of piece of technology I'm interested in experimenting with and see how far I can get with it, maybe with the intention of turning it into a fully edited, polished video at some point in the future. I have one of those coming quite soon, actually. They take a while to put together, hence I do these in between time. You can find, oh, it's gone. Come back. It's weird. There we go. You can find more about me at christianschiller.com, my newly launched website. Quite a bit missing, but it looks shiny, new, using a new framework, which I will also document soon. And you can subscribe, leave a comment, say hi on YouTube where you are watching. So what am I going to look at today? I'm going to look at two things. I'm going to look at two documentation related tools that I wanted to lump together because they've been on my list for some time. And they both begin with M. And it seemed just good to put them together and see what I found out about them and whether I or anyone watching would consider using them. If you are joining in chat, let me see, then say hi. Sometimes these documentation ones are popular, depends a bit. If you're joining later, then say hi later. So let's jump into screen share. Here we go. I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. I'm going to start with Motif, the collaborative MarkDoc platform. We should probably, uh-oh, I've just spotted a request access. Uh-oh, this could be a short video. Okay. This could be a short video, we'll see. Well then, I guess this is only going to be one, but maybe we'll have a quick look at Motif to see what it is. It's interesting. It's in early access, but used by, actually, I've only heard of one of these companies, so maybe maybe it's not so interesting after all, or maybe, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. Maybe it's not so in use after all. So this is what it looks like, and we can see a few different things here. What is MarkDoc? Actually, it sounds vaguely familiar. Maybe we can look at that. Ah, here we go. And maybe we'll look at MarkDoc instead. I feel like, have I looked at MarkDoc before? I don't know. We'll look at MarkDoc now, seeing as we can't look at Motif. So, MarkDoc. For professional blogs to massive documentation sites, MarkDoc is a content authoring system that grows with you. Sounds good. So I reckon we should just dive in. Let's see, get started quickly. MarkDoc Core, I'm already getting lots of different things here that are starting to confuse me slightly. It's a lightweight package containing everything you need to get started. It looks like it's JavaScript. If you want to get going further, check out our Next.js plugin, okay? And then live in, Stripe, it's the Stripe documentation. Okay, this is relatively old, I think, but let's carry on. All right, we're going to need a terminal. And of course, I've been having this increasingly annoying issue where endlessly I open terminals or windows and I open on my other screen. So let's create a folder. Spell the command quickly. Okay. You might wonder what that was. That's a prompt I'm working on a piece of fiction with. In case you're wondering why I had something like that in my clipboard. There we go. The things you expose when you're doing a live stream. Okay. Or yarn ad, but okay. Now, this is already slightly confusing because we have import it into your app. I don't know what I mean my app. What's my app? Maybe that Next.js thing is a better place to start, because we see what is Markdown-based format and framework for publishing, blah, 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 under the hood, etc., etc. Try it out online. This is the core concepts. There's not a tremendous amount here. Use with HTML, use with Next, use with React. I think I will try with React then, because React I am slightly more familiar with. So let's zap that. I think what we need to do is just yep, and yep, and everything else. There we go. So it's, no, I didn't do that. There we go. We are clear. So we have to do this first. I'm really starting to get deja vu that I have looked at this before, but we'll carry on. Oops. One of those ones that does the multiple lines, but doesn't. Anyway. Yep. I always find React projects take a while. Also noticing this shirt. The camera doesn't seem to like this shirt. Shouldn't wear dots. Okay, we're still going. So this is some kind of Markdown parser. I think I will see, some sort of embeddable thing. It's a shame about, I might check my email in a moment. Who knows? Maybe that Motif approved these things very quickly. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to do that. We can do that in a minute. Oh no, maybe not. So now we'll open. I do have something already open in VS Code, so I'm just going to make sure I get a new window here. There we go. And we'll open the project. So there it is. Cool. Let's pop that over to that side and pop that over to that side. And we need to create a schema folder. I guess this is like the content, I suppose. We have a call out, which I am guessing is I think you can guess a call out. Oops. Don't know if there's any specific plugins for this. We'll find out soon. This is the syntax. So this looks reasonably commonsensical, familiar so far. Render, call out, the children, a paragraph, a tag, and a list. I think they all make sense. Attributes is a string, a note, matches, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it's like an admonition, I think is typically they are referred to as. And then the other file, we have a heading. I wonder why that one's lowercase and that one is uppercase, but that's maybe just me being pedantic. There's a bit more going on here. So we have nodes requires this. Did that require it? No, that didn't require. Interesting. Okay. Generates an ID, returns children. This is all sort of relatively standard JavaScript. Exports things that make a reasonable amount of sense right now. We'll come back to them later. Parse your Markdown document on the server. I assume. I don't know what this means. On the server. On the server where? In here? guess. I don't know. Don't we need a file? This is where I'm finding it confusing because it mentions a MarkDoc document. So is that also a particular, let's see, I feel like I'm missing a top level overview. Markdown based document format, yes. But do I need, I mean, how do I create a file? Is that, let's see, no, that's pretty standard so far. Pretty standard, well, that's all JavaScript. Used in your document. I keep seeing this reference of a document, but I'm yet to see an example of a document. This all looks very good. I'd just like to know what a document looks like. Do I call it .md? Do I call it mdoc? Something like that? Like, what do I actually call it? Ah, here we go. So here's an actual document. Cool. I guess we can just have this. So we'll just leave this loose. We can figure out where it actually needs to be in a moment. I guess I just call it .md. Nothing has told me anything otherwise yet. Not sure if this is going to work or not. I feel like this will work because we have that special call out thing. That will do. So now I think we can go back to, is this where I was? Yes. So about this time of every day at the moment, we get these huge crows cawing in a big flock outside the window. I don't think you can hear them, but it's quite distracting. So we need to load the file. So I guess in this case it will be I'm guessing that's not used. This is not defined. So I do need to, we haven't even added this yet, have we? This hasn't even been added as a dependency yet. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of missing steps here. Here we go. It needs a cohesive end-to-end user guide, really. Okay. No, that's not the right, that didn't work. Let's just do, I don't know, that copy paste thing seems to be a bit broken. Okay. And now we can import it, i.e. looks like we are using ESM, I think. Yep, so that is now there. We're not getting the error anymore. We also need FS. That is a fairly standard. Yeah. No, that wasn't what I meant to type. Let's do that. No, okay. Just trying to get it to. Stop it. There we go. Okay, that's not what. Import FS. I can't actually remember how to do this. Isn't it inbuilt now? I'm sure it's just part of it now, isn't it? FS is a node package. Oh no. Got a bad feeling about this. I'm sure I did this recently. It's always an annoying thing when you do things quite a lot but cannot remember the differences between them. I'm also a little bit concerned because the documentation I saw is talking about on the server, and I'm not seeing anything about what is it? Yeah, about how to do that. There we go. That'll do. I'm not sure if that was really best practice or whatever, but we just want to get through this for now. we've kind of got all of this already. We have the source is equal to markdown.parse, the raw text of the file, I guess. Then we get the no, hang on, there's a few steps missing here. We have the source, that's the file. The AST we have here, it's the raw text. Okay, that's, yep. And then we have the content here. And then we can render the content as HTML, although that is actually what we want to do. I'm not sure yet. Let's go back. I'm freewheeling all of this. We have the AST. So now, yeah, maybe we can skip those steps. So this is where I'm slightly confused, or not confused, but concerned. Call this on the server. Not really. This is my server, I guess. Yeah. And this is Express. What's this got to do with React? On the client. Oh, so yeah, this has got so many missing dependencies that it hasn't really mentioned here. So I actually now need to set up Express. I'm starting to really get to a point of 15 minutes in where I'm getting all these unmentioned dependencies that do I want to continue? I'm actually contemplating this HTML example, but that's probably going to be the same. You would still have to have Express. Now I see that one did mention Express. It does mention Express. Okay, all right. I missed that. That's my fault. All right, then. I guess we have to set up Express. We'll give this another sort of 10 minutes, I think, so far. But don't I want to create this separately? I've got a feeling, I don't know. Let's just carry on. Sometimes this stuff is always fiddly. I'm starting to feel like I should have just done the HTML version. Okay, so now I need to, done all that so far. Parse your Markdown documents on the server. So we don't actually want to do any of this here. So we will probably cut all of this in 1 second. Comment for now. So we need to create a server.js file. I don't know if this is going to be minimal enough that what's included in the example, if we're going to have to add more boilerplate, but we will see. What is concerning me is this is mentioned. I don't know why this is mentioned here, but then not here. Is it both? I don't know. It's slightly confusing. Let's just take this whole chunk anyway. Let's save that. Pull that in. Let's just uncomment it. We have all these first parts already. And now we can probably scrap this for now. Take the rest of this. Yep. And we need to, oh, it's not used. No, this is all fine. Good. Now we can take the rest. So this is going to send server side, I guess, Markdown. Now what's this? Content manifest is not defined. What's that? Is that also from? I would assume that's also from MarkDoc? Not massively clear. I don't know what that's from. Let's do a quick search. So far, yeah, there's a lot missing here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming up. So I'm assuming it's something to do with got a bad feeling we're now going to look here. Oh no, it's still relatively active. I'm not seeing it. I don't know where this is coming from. What is that function from? I have no idea. Issues? It's encouraging. Okay, here we go. This looks like the same example though. Blah, 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 blah. A whole big discussion about it. I still don't know what it is. Can probably see there's some kind of package.json. Don't know where this is coming from. This is index. We want the server. So it's here. Ah, here we go. It's this. Okay, well that would have been useful to include. But now where does that come from? Where on earth is... This is completely separate file. Okay, this is really starting to get to... And that's coming from... Yeah, this is... I don't know. This is a whole bundle of things that are not meant. No, this is... All right, I think I'm going to stop here. There's too much unexplained. None of this is mentioned. I'm just double checking. None of it is mentioned. Just double check. Nope. Let's see if it's mentioned in the docs at all. Probably only in... It was mentioned here. I think in the same way though. There's actually... No, I don't know. Okay. All right then. So Motif and MarkDoc were a bit of a washout. Let's carry on. So Motif, you need an invite. I will just double check my email. You never know. Let's see. I don't actually even see confirmation of the message. So I don't know. All right, well, there we go. That's that. Let's see, when was the last activity? I think that might be dead. Okay. All right then. Mintlify. I'm starting to get the impression I should check this before we go any further. But let's just carry on. 2023. That's at least encouraging. All right, good. So get started. If you say request access, I will go mad. Oh Lord. Okay. All right. This is a slightly weird way of doing onboarding, but okay. I'm going to pop these into... This is actually it's a very good MVP way of doing onboarding. Use this template. It's got hidden. Create new repository. That's me. What sort of name is a bit odd? Okay, that'll do its thing. What owner did you select in the form? Wow, this is super interesting MVP hacking here using Typeform. And it's called Mintlify. Okey-doke. What's your first name? Alright, fine. Not quite sure why it matters, but do I have to? go. Good. Deploy. Thank you. That's what I'm interested in. All right. It feels like it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Huh. Oh, no, there we go. That came to life. Cool. Install our GitHub bot. I won't for now. This, so we could develop locally. Okay, let's do all that. I'm sort of jumping me around in a few different places. I'm not completely sure where the best place to go first is, but it's fine for now. Make it yours. So let's do that. Let's check this out locally then. I think I still have my terminal open. So let's go up a couple of levels. And no, I'm in the wrong place. This at least is working. It's a good start. Yeah. Oh, hang on, what? Oh dear, whoops, my mistake. I didn't change into the folder. That is Visual Studio Code trying to open everything on that. Okay. All right, change name in mint.json. Name, okay. Call it. There we go. Update the logo folder. Yeah, I'll leave that as it is because, yeah. Let's change some colors. Why not? I used to have a, I used to have an extension in VS Code that would repopulate colors. Maybe it's only, it might only be in CSS from memory, but we'll just go for some very simple ones here that are easy to remember. I won't change to favicon for now. Yeah, I think we kind of get what's possible here. Add content. Where do I add content? Creating your own MDX component. So that's interesting. It's MDX based, which is one that I'm always interested in. But where do you add the content? Well, here's the MDX here. That's pretty interesting so far. I'm kind of a little bit, I sort of want to go to the local setup because I don't exactly know what I want to do yet. I don't really want to keep pushing it. So let's do this stuff here to get it working locally. I think I'd rather that, to be honest with you. I assume that was added by the template, but let's just be sure. Oh, that's also going globally. Maybe it's not then. Being a bit slow today. I think I have something uploading in the background. Added a bunch of files to Creative Cloud, which usually eats up bandwidth. So. And then we can see this locally. So we can probably just carry on from there and then go back to their docs and see what's happening. It's interesting because it looks very much to me like a SaaS product, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. But let's come back to that. I did say pricing though. Yeah. Downloading the framework. Isn't that not what we just did? It's interesting. So that's pretty much all there is to see in that repo. So let's switch back. Let's come back into here. There we go. I think we've got everything else closed already. I don't know what this is. This is a very large. You can actually see. I'm not sure if it's really going to register very much. waiting for that, waiting for that, waiting for that. Kind of want to see what else we could do in the meantime. That quick start was, yeah, that's kind of what we just went through. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder again. Jeez. So this will, dearie me. I don't do these for a week, and although that's already added as a dependency. It's interesting seeing a lot of quite interesting looking options here. This should, I hope, not require installing a framework. But I'm slightly confused as to what is like open source NPM things and what is a SaaS service. We'll come to that in a second. That's doing its thing, and that is pretty much what we have. I changed some colors. Yeah, I'm not sure where the title came relevant. And also, where is this? I think where is this coming from? That's the features. Is that the introduction? Yes. Oh, I see. So that's what's loaded here. Okay. And then this is loading API reference. I think that's a special folder. Ah, now that is interesting. That is interesting. The ability to represent API endpoints as MDX. That is quite interesting, actually. Cool. We did all that already. Let's keep that there for now. Wondering what to do next. Sort of feel like we should have just done a video on this. Well, at least the other things didn't take so long. So let's have a look then. So writing content is this going to be standard MDX. MDX itself is a bit odd because it mixes React, and you can see some custom syntax here that I'm guessing is coming via Mintlify, because this is going to be some sort of React component. I would assume, no, it's not Reacty enough to have TypeScript definitions. That would be cool. Card groups, yeah. So this is all the sorts of custom syntax you see here. And then this is that a code component from Mintlify or from something else? No, it's from Mintlify. Oh, I see. That is actually Java. I thought that was React code for some strange reason. It's rendered like that, yeah. But that's not a code component. You'd have to wrap that in something, surely. No, you just write code. But that is as expected, I guess. That's just normal. It's just adding some extra MDX React niceness. This is the tip stuff. I like this. I'm assuming I could... Yeah, change note. Well, this is nice. It's actually the just nice, plain and simple semantic syntax is nice. It's interesting because we tried to do something similar with MarkDoc and it was just a mess, whereas this is really nice and cohesive and well thought out, actually. So bizarrely, I just randomly threw the two of them together as things to compare, but there's actually a lot of correlation. Mintlify is working far better, sorry. Components, require, okay. Cool. Rich text. Oh, that's Markdown syntax. It's not really rich text, but okay. Yeah, it's still pretty standard stuff. Images, also pretty standard. Nothing particularly fancy there. A lot of the other MDX style frameworks let you do something more interesting with the images. That's fine. This is all just standard Markdown again. Code, I think, is code. So it's not as complex, as comprehensive as something like Docusaurus or Astro, or that's an entire framework, and some of these other options. Custom embeds, this is all just HTML, which is weird because you could just use React components, surely. That would be better. And this is all just standard Markdown. You can have snippets, okay. That's interesting. And then a snippet file. I have been putting together a video on JetBrains writer side This does something similar, actually, like a specific snippets folder, and then you include things. Cool. What else do we have? Navigation, which you have a file here in mint.json. Yeah. Or you can just have a folder, which is quite cool. Hidden pages, settings, yeah. Page titles and metadata, yeah, that's expected. And then you can, I really like this API pages thing though. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Side by side, wide mode. Yep. Versioning. That's cool. How do you organize it though? Names of the versions. Okay. So you could organize it how you like, really. And also similarly with the groups, which I suppose you could do. And it doesn't have to be a V, I guess. It could be languages as well, quite easily, I guess. Custom domains, yeah, that's fine. Now this is where, actually the custom domains is something where it's going to become interesting. So that's kind of basically it. And we have these components, which are sort of put aside elsewhere. Accordions, yeah, that's the sort of disclose thing. Oh, that's odd, you have to keep stepping through each one. Group of accordions. I'd like to just see a list. Cards, yeah, that's nice. Card group, that's nice as well. Tabs, I think we've seen that already. Call out boxes, we've seen those. Code blocks, we've seen that. Code groups, yep, that's cool. Image frames, so you can do something a little bit different with images. Tooltips. Okay. Oh, I see. Here's so it's again pretty syntactically obvious. Parameter types. I'm assuming this is for the API stuff. Yep, that is cool in itself. Response, that's all the API. That's the API. Sticky code. Not really sure what that means, but okay. And that's it. So it's actually pretty cool. Little early days, but pretty cool. This is super nice. I like that you can do this. And it's so weird because this is so similar to what MarkDoc is aiming to be, but this does it so much better. And we just got it working. It's a little bit laggy. Like it's kind of slow at times, but that's okay. Cool. And we even have internal table of content and search. How does that work? I should actually try and search for something that exists as opposed to just a random letter. There's no results. I don't think that works. I don't think the search works, but there we go. Can't have everything. So where I am slightly confused though is how this really relates, because they feel like they're pushing themselves as a product company, but this doesn't feel like a product. So I'm not saying it's bad, but they're not really pushing the money enough. But then there's bits where it feels like it is. So let's see. Custom domain. Yeah, that's just it. Maybe not then. Powered by Mintlify. It's this kind of weird thing. Yeah. So some people are using it, not a massive amount. Pricing. That's where I'm confused. So what do you... Custom subdomains, but surely you could just do that yourself? I don't know. So you can't build, I suppose. This is the weird, interesting thing. So this is, I think you have to, but you don't have to host it with them, surely. This is where I'm slightly confused. Oh, that's Discord. Whoops, I don't want to go Discord. No. So I can't build it. I think that is the fundamental problem. Yeah. So you have to, interesting. They've kind of taken this fairly standard play, but made it so you can't build it. Let's see. Dev and install, that's it. So you can't build it. I mean, you probably could if you wanted to, but you have to pay. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting way of doing things. How did I get there? Where did it go? Right. How do I get back to where I was? Okay. 120 a month seems quite high for it. We get this But where do the thing I'm slightly confused about this, like, okay, I'm in for free. How is this type form again? Yeah, like, how do I set anything up? Don't, this is type form again. It's a little bit confusing to me as to how I like access my account. Yeah, this type form again. Okay, so I feel like something is a little bit discombobulated here. Some interesting ideas. I feel like it'd be better as a just as a open source project, to be honest with you. But there you go. Who am I to say? All right. Well, I think I am mostly wrapped up. Let's oops, that's an old slide. We don't want that. There we go. So I looked briefly at MarkDoc, and I intended to look at, so long ago now, I can't even remember what it was called. It was Motif. Couldn't really get them to work. Moved on. Then we came to Mintlify, which is interesting. It actually tries to do what MarkDoc is doing, but the onboarding experience is much better. Hello, Zachary. Hello, hello. I'm nearly done, I'm afraid. It does it quite well. I really like what they have, but the interesting thing is it's kind of SaaS only. It has to be hosted. You can't do what a lot of these options do and just self-host like many of the other kind of Markdown based documentation tools. The pricing is a little high. Sort of feel like there could be some rethinking of that business model, but who am I to say? But it's annoying because I actually quite like what it's offering. I quite like offering the syntax and the way they offer the kind of MDX React components around the documentation in the Mintlify framework, but I can't use it outside of their platform. So that, I guess, is a summary. I don't know if that's really a summary. That's me saying, hey guys, make it free. It's not really a particularly satisfactory summary, probably, but there we go. Interesting. So 2 new tools there. There's a lot of these kind of documentation plus Markdown, which is MDX. So documentation plus React component tools around at the moment. And I quite like them. I've been messing around with quite a few of them. They start to take documentation to that dynamic world. And actually, there's a lot of instances where that is quite useful, especially with web-based projects. So interesting space to keep an eye on. These are 2 new entries into that. So I have been Christian Schiller. You can find more about me on the website up there. Sign up to my mailing list. You can now see my website on a Markdown and a React-based framework. I used Astro. It's very early days on my development of that. I'm still working on some things behind the scenes, and I'll be writing a blog post on how I did that very soon. If you're watching on YouTube, which you probably are if you're watching, you can subscribe, say hi, or leave a comment. I will be back on Wednesday. You can see the schedule on my YouTube channel. I'll be back on Wednesday to look at Stable Diffusion and Amazing AI, 2 desktop, macOS desktop-based AI tools. And I'll be back on Friday afternoon to do another live play of Lone Wolf, a little bit different from tech. And I'll have a podcast episode this week as well. I have been Christian Schiller. Thank you very much for joining me, as always, and I will see you next time.